When I was homeless, and even in the worst of my addictions, suicide, overdose, given my last rites, everything, is that I had to realize that
What is the biggest misconception people have about mediumship and also connecting with spirit, right?
two things come up when you ask me that.
Mm-hmm.
One is my own situation. Is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people think that when you lose a loved one, they're gone and they're not in good shape. Like,
So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, folks, today we are joined by Mark Charters. He's a third generation psychic medium and life coach, and he's transforming lives through spiritual guidance. With over 30 years of experience in the healing industry, Mark is the author of Become the Light Again and also the creator of The Mealtime Mystic. He helps people connect with their lost loved ones and unlock their inner potential for growth and healing. And today we are going to delve into an interesting conversation on the topic at hand, letting go to receive the power of healing through mediumship. But before we get started, here's an exciting twist as always. Let us tickle our guest's brain. So Mark, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
I'm ready.
Oh, love it. Okay.
First one.
Yeah, first one is curiosity.
Curiosity is something I always have.
Invention.
Invention is what keeps humanity moving forward.
Future.
Future is something not to get stuck in, but always keep hope for.
Universe.
Universe is around us and within us and is always expanding with love.
Wow, I love it. And then leadership.
Leadership, we all have it in us. It's just we have to believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Success.
Success is something that isn't measured by money, but by the love of what we do.
Wow, so powerful. Next is spirit.
Spirit is something that is within us, around us, and it's all able to access.
Transformation.
We are constantly doing it.
Wisdom.
Wisdom is something that we all have if we just listen.
Okay, and here comes the last word, energy.
Energy is love, and it makes the world go round.
I loved your responses, Mark, and thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round. There is one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode, so stay tuned. And before that, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me on your show. I really enjoy that word content and really fitting out something. It's something
Wonderful.
that just makes me come alive.
Sure. And thank you for being part of our journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And with that, let's get the ball rolling and we'll begin with your guiding voice. So share with us, who is your guiding voice?
Okay, well, the guiding voice that I use, there's two components of it. One is the spirit realm, meaning your loved ones. It could be your grandma, it could be a child, it could be a parent, a loved one, a colleague. Anyone who's on the other side can come through and give them me. But then there is the universal spirit, meaning God, Buddha, Yahweh, universal love, Christ, any of the high gods in the world it's really universal love. And I attach to that spirit to help see visions and things about you and what love wants you to move forward to. My intention is all about love, and those two guide me to teach people and help them show what they need to do better in their lives. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. And this is one of the unique perspectives that I came across. And I see that you strongly believe in love and also universe. So thanks for sharing that. And now let's talk about your success mantra. So please share with us the top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
Okay. I think the 3 things that have contributed is, the first one is my failures. All my failures and tragedies have really been the gifts for me to become successful, because I had to realize that I'm powerless over what goes on outside of me, but I'm powerful in the choice I make. So the tragedies is one. The other thing is choice. Is I can make a choice at any moment to look at something as good or bad and make a choice forward. The third thing is always listen. Don't rush into something and let it have its own timing, and things will unfold. Those 3 things have been really amazing change for me, from when I was homeless on the streets to even now when I'm building my business all over the world. Is those 3 components. I still make mistakes, but those mistakes are my gifts to learn how to move forward. Is that clear enough for you?
Absolutely clear. So learn from failures, and also believe in the choices, and most importantly, listen before you speak, in terms of listen. All right. Amazing.
And we all have the choice.
Yeah. Good one. Makes sense. And Mark, you talk about looking within for answers, right? So how can someone begin to access the guidance from loved ones they have lost?
Yeah, I get that. And I get that question. It's so interesting you asked me that, because almost every client who comes to me who's lost a daughter or a son or a partner or a parent is, how do I access them? And it's very simple. There's no magic involved. You just ask them to help you and ask them to come through. I had a daughter die 30 years ago, and I asked her to come in, and she comes in. At first, the first few years, it's hard for that, because we're blocking out a lot of things from the tragic of loss. We're numbed out. We're in the stages of grief. But once we work through those a little, we can open up. But sometimes even in that, all we have to do is ask for signs. And it could be a name, it could be a butterfly, it could be a voice that comes in, it could be someone walks by you and says something. It's nothing magical. It's just being willing to make a choice to ask. And that's how I lead my sessions, as I ask. And all of a sudden someone comes through and I start sharing. But we all can do that. You can do that with relatives from many years ago. It's all you have to do is ask. I know that's simple, but it really does work.
Okay. I think it is worth trying it. I strongly see that it is going to work. And with that, let's move to the next one. Again, you had an interesting journey, and I would say you had some humble background, and also your journey from this addiction and homelessness has shaped you as a life coach, right? So how has this journey shaped your life, as if how you have come to this level as a life coach today?
Yes, and that's a really deep question. And when I was homeless, and even in the worst of my addictions, suicide, overdose, given my last rites, everything, is that I had to realize that I had to make the choice that someone else is running my life if I allowed it, meaning a higher level of energy. Right. And I ran my life into the ground. And so how I took that, once I let go of that, even living on the streets at that moment, and my book talks about where I was about to be shot. And at that moment, I let go and I asked for universal God's love, and it shifted. And I teach people, no matter how hard their life is now, if they realize that the worst of the situation can be turned into a gift to learn how to navigate forward and build you stronger. And so I give examples of what I've been through to clients of mine that come. And whether it's a really bad divorce, or I had a woman come in the other day, lost both of her children in 1 year, all their kids left in 1 year. And I channeled some things, and she was able to see some of the love through that can help her move forward. It's in the emptiness that we find the wholeness of it. And that's where that addiction, and I stopped shaming myself about what I did wrong, instead of looking at it as just an act of life that I was playing out in order for me to grow into who I am as a human being now, and a spiritual human being. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. And I love the way you put it, like in the emptiness, you'll find the wholesomeness. And I think you have had some amazing experiences with your clients as well. Now, I'm curious to understand what is the biggest misconception people have about mediumship and also connecting with spirit, right?
Okay, you've picked really great questions, because it's almost like you've come to me as a client, because clients come to me and worry about readings. They think that it's something dark, meaning that I'm going to tell them that their death date. Do you understand? They think, they're like, don't tell me when I'm going to die. I don't have that power. Only God does. But what the misconception is that they think that I'm a fake. And that a lot of people got hurt by readings, especially vulnerable parents that have lost kids and they go to someone. My work is just about love. And I give them that benefit of, once they meet me, they see that I'm not out to gain anything from it. Of course, I charge, but my work is about serving them, and I give them my story first. And so that it takes away a lot of the edge of losing children, of being sick, of losing siblings, parents, things. But the misconception is that I'm going to make up something to scare them into coming back. Do you understand? To make them dependent on me. And I tell them that this reading is only coming from you, not me. I'm just channeling the words from loved ones in you, in spirit, through you, to help you. It has nothing to do with me. And that's the first thing I say when people come in, if that makes sense. Okay?
No, I can relate to what you are telling, right? Unless they trust, unless that particular connection is established, people will have those kind of assumptions, and you're going to debunk them. Yeah, wonderful. And now I have a slightly tangential question. Like, how can someone move from being a follower to becoming a leader in their life with spiritual guidance?
Yeah, one thing I teach people who are followers, and that could be even a leader that is a follower, is that somewhere in their past, when I channel them, meaning that I'm doing a reading for them, I find out somewhere someone taught them not to believe in their intuitive process, really listening to what they know is right for them and moving forward. Now, a leader doesn't have to be someone that's running a whole organization. It could be you saying, I want to write a book today, and start moving forward in that and setting up things to create that. You're leading your old life instead of following someone else's advice. Advice is good, but inside us, we all have the choice. And so what I do is I teach people to look at the blocks that has taught them not to take risks, not to believe in themselves, and help them feel the loss and grief of that, work through it, and then they make choices to become a leader in their own life. And then it manifests throughout their organization, throughout their art, throughout their writing, throughout their music, anything like that. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. And also in situations of some deep trauma, maybe someone losing their loved one to murder or suicide, how can connecting with spirit help in the healing process? Do they really come out of the trauma?
Two things come up when you ask me that. One is my own situation. Is a lot of people think that when you lose a loved one, they're gone and they're not in good shape. Like whether my daughter died from a heart problem, and I thought she'll be suffering for the rest of her life on the other side. But they come back to us and tell us facts about us and help us that they're happy, and their mission now is to help us to move forward through it. With other clients, what comes in is those loved ones will come through to me, through my clients, and tell them what happened, how it happened, and teaching them to let go that there's always a higher plan. We always have a destiny in our lives to die. Everyone has a time clock. And once they alleviate the guilt and the shame of what they could have done and realize that it's just part of life is death, and that they can let it go a little and start feeling the loved one come through more, and it moves them forward. It's not instantly, but it's a process of grieving. Grieving is the number one thing that helps us to grow closer to the loss and connecting with our loved ones.
Got it. And this is a kind of enlightening conversation and also exciting at the same time. After this amazing, incredible set of questions, it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode, which means it is time for us to open this second rapid fire round. If you're ready, let's get started.
Okay, let's go. This is another rapid fire.
Yes, this is another rapid fire, and here comes my first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Just love yourself.
Just love yourself. Can you describe yourself in just one word?
Accepting.
And one book everyone should read for personal growth.
The one they love.
Okay. If you could connect with any historical figure in spirit, who would it be?
Christ.
Okay. And what is a common myth about being a psychic medium?
That we know everything about everyone all the time.
Biggest. Okay.
That's a myth. That's not true.
That's right. And what is the best advice you have received from the spiritual realm?
Just to trust that when we leave this earth, that we're still available to help others live their lives on this earth.
Wow. And then here comes the last one for the second rapid fire round. What is one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
How to find out to gauge love in a material sense.
Oh, quite interesting. I loved it, and I love the second rapid fire round. With that, let's flip back to the mainstream. So, Mark, how can someone start bringing spiritual connection and guidance into their everyday life? Is there any easy peasy tip?
Yes. What I found when I was really down and out and my life was really over on the streets, all I had to do was wake up in the morning and ask whoever it was out there on a higher realm to help me for the day. Always ask for guidance and help, and the day will unfold as it should. And that led me into deeper and deeper spiritual steps in my life. No matter how difficult it was, I'd still ask, please guide me for the day. It's a simple, and I think it's universal, whatever religion or whatever practice. It's starting in the morning with just waking up, and it's the only day we have on this planet is today. Nothing else matters.
I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and it is one of the interesting conversations I've had on the platform, and I think we need to do many more episodes in the future. And Mark, how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice? I believe this is your first ever podcast.
Amazing. I really enjoyed it. And I love the fact that the way you rapid fire questions and I have to just come up with my intuitive process. You're training me even more to do my work. And just the ability of you to be so open to so many different avenues of people's lives. I really enjoyed it. It's my first podcast, and I really feel comfortable with it. And I thank you for that. It's been great.
Pleasure to host you, and thank you once again for joining us today. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do.
And thank you. And I wish you the best too.
Thank you so much. All right. So, friends, that was our episode with Mark Charters. Before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you have been growing with the platform. And now it's time for us to cruise into the trivia segment of today's episode. And I thought I would present you some interesting facts about spirit games, having had amazing conversation with Mark Charters on mediumship. I think this might be relevant to the topic. And here comes the first fact about the ancient origins. Spirit games, often involving mediums or divination tools like Ouija boards, have roots in ancient cultures. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans practiced forms of spirit communication through rituals and games to contact the dead or divine future events. These practices were often seen as a sacred, involving spiritual intermediaries to receive messages from the afterlife. Second fact is about psychological influence. The spirit games like the Ouija board work partially through a psychological phenomenon known as the ideomotor effect, where individuals unconsciously move objects based on their own thoughts or expectations. While many believe these games tap into supernatural forces, the ideomotor effect shows how powerful the mind is in creating a sense of external control, adding an intriguing layer of mystery to these experiences. So likewise, if you have any interesting facts related to spirit games or mediumship, I would love to know from you. And if you're watching this episode on YouTube, you can comment there. Or if you have found this episode on audio platforms or on some social media platforms, you can comment there as well. So folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. So until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.